Welcome to our first ever live event on our teams, for our school teams account. We're thrilled that you can be here. Hello again if you're joining. On behalf of our whole school, we're glad that you could take part in our first ever venture into this live event, I should say. My name is David Claxton, and I'm the principal of the school, and I'm blessed to serve with two wonderful assistant principals, Rachel Harmon and Matt Patillo. They are here live with us on the meeting. And today, I'm just going to walk through. We're going to record this and post it on our website later. For I know many friends and other schools may have meetings going on now too. We're just going to go through, have a little family meeting that we would typically do in person for our families as they arrive to school. Some of these things we would go over in an open house or maybe on a 5th grade parent night that may apply to all students. So we just wanted to take a moment to say hello, to let you know we miss you, that we're working really hard to get ready for next week, and our teachers are so excited to see our students back in the building. Now, we're doing this administratively from 3 different locations. As you can probably tell, I'm at school. Rachel and Matt are at their homes, respectively, and our webmaster in charge is Miss Harmon. And so in a moment, you're probably going to lose my face, which may be a good thing, and jump to the presentation we have for you, and I'm going to talk through it. While you're doing that, we have a Q&A that you can enter questions on. Mr. Patillo and Ms. Harmon and I will be looking through that and doing our best to answer questions as we can. We will also be collecting any questions and answers that we see. If we see some patterns forming, we will certainly push those out to you through a school messenger or later this week. So Ms. Harmon, let's get started. All right. I have already welcomed everyone here. And also I have introduced Ms. Harmon and Mr. Patillo as part of our collective administrative team. In our cafeteria, the picture you see in this one is really a picture of our mission. And that's the mission of West Valley Middle School community, is to inspire our students to be resourceful, respectful, and responsible citizens by providing a challenging and safe learning environment. Folks, we've got a challenging learning environment this year, don't we? And we know we're going to get through it together. And a big part of that is learning a little bit more about what we are and how we've defined ourselves. And I want to share a little bit about that with you now as we get into the next slides. Ms. Harmon, we can flip to the next slide, hopefully.
One moment, it got stuck. 1 second. Okay.
While we're flipping, I'll go ahead. Pack Pride. So several years ago, we asked our staff, I've been here at West Valley 9 years, this is year 9 for me. About year 8, over the summer, our staff worked to kind of collectively put together what we are, what we feel we are as a school, why we enjoy working here. And we came up with Pack Pride. All of our answers kind of led us to this: positive, respect, integrity, dedication, and excellence. And what we have found in our work this summer, especially with our leadership team, is that this is really applying to what we're trying to do this year in both our virtual school, for our virtual school students and for our in-person school setting, in our setting. And our theme for this year we came up with was fortitude. Having fortitude is having the grit and heart to stay optimistic and positive even when facing adversity. And if you were, when you get a chance to come to our school, when we can do that, you would see that fortitude is fueled by positive of our Pack Pride. The literal definition that we have painted on our cafeteria wall of positive is staying optimistic and positive when we're facing adversity. And so we are. The video, we're not going to watch it tonight, but we're going to post this presentation to our website and share it out with family. This video, Kindness 101, is what we watched with our leadership team this summer, and then we later shared with our staff. And in it, are some wonderful examples of fortitude and really, I think, hit home on what we're trying to do this year. Next slide. Our agenda for tonight is to give you some general West Valley info, and I'm going to try to do that through the slides. You're also going to get the chance to ask for some info in the chat that's going on, and I see Mr. Patillo is working on that now. We're going to talk a little bit about procedures, some of the first week plans, and student schedule updates, and some of our Red Day protocols. I will take this moment now to let you know that all schools, all 90+ schools, have a presentation that was shared with them by Knox County Schools to go over what virtual learning will look like. And I think Bearden High School is doing that tonight. We're going to do that Thursday. Our live event Thursday will be that presentation. I've seen some questions about that. So we've added some things into that presentation specifically about our school. We'll go over those things on Thursday. So let's start moving through the agenda here, or through the West Valley info. So this is kind of random and also just general information that maybe you want to know. Our media center is students enter our front doors immediately to the left. And most mornings it opens at 7:30 as students come into the building after their temperature checks, of course, and masked. And it's open until 4, generally about every day. In there, we'll be hosting clubs as we have in the past, such as Book Club, Writers Club, Makerspace. I think our students really enjoy being in that part of our school, both before school, during school, and after school too. Some other information, Ms. Harmon. Next slide. Some athletics. We generally share this in smaller group presentations, but we thought we would add it here. At West Valley Middle School, we have basketball, cheerleading, and track. We have a school-sanctioned dance team, and those are the big sports here. So I know for a lot of our new families, we over the summer get questions about football, lacrosse, soccer, baseball, those types of things. Those we don't hire those coaches. These athletics are the ones that we have at school, and they potentially have another fee with them, as most sports do. They have grade requirements for students to participate. They have to have a physical, and school insurance is required. If your students choose to try out for those sports and make those teams, you'll get a lot more of that information throughout the year. Our dance team is faculty sponsored. There is a grade requirement for it. You will see them and their banners in our banner in our gym for their national championship a few years ago. They perform at our basketball games, school functions, and competitions, and they also have to have a physical and school insurance. And all of our sports are part of the TMSAA. Community sports, as I mentioned before, they're not sanctioned by Knox County, but most all of them require physical of some kind, and you see there listed some of those. We do our best to try to share who those contact points are. If someone calls and shares a flyer, we might put it in our office or maybe put that information on our website as we can. But that often changes year to year as different parents coach those sports and those contacts change. The best thing we often tell families in the summer is if you have a neighbor who's played or maybe can get the ball rolling on maybe a contact point for some older kids in the neighborhood who've played in those sports and those participated in them. Okay. Our PTSA, some other general information. Our wonderful, wonderful PTSA is a branch of the Tennessee PTA. It's a nonprofit organization which seeks to unite the forces of homeschool and community on behalf of our kids and our youth. It's a great way for parents for you to get plugged into our school. I know many of you have done that throughout elementary school for your children. The same is here. We would love to have you participate. Our PTSA sponsors community meetings at school, and they will again once we get the okay for that. And they continuously support our students and staff. Some examples that I could just think of as we were working through this, breakfast. Your kids are going to see that we have a lot of new picnic tables. The PTSA helped us with that. Grade level celebrations at the end of the year, gift certificates for staff luncheons. PTSA really supports our school all the way around. There's a Facebook page for our West Valley School PTSA. You see it there. I think hopefully when you get this presentation, you can click on a link there. If not, you can just copy and paste it. Our PTSA president this year is Sarah Confer Rice. Her email is there. She gave me permission to put that there for you should you want to reach out to her to see how you can help and plug in for one event or one thing or more. And we'll have more info coming soon about our membership drive for PTSA and how to purchase WVMS gear that they have ready for us to sell to you to spread the West Valley love on our clothes. Moving on, we also have and are blessed to have a West Valley Foundation. It was established in the year 2015 and 16, and its purpose, as you see here, is to promote and support the academic excellence of our school. Many gifts to the school throughout the year, and they support our teacher instructional needs and professional growth. On the next slide, you're going to see some things that they've helped us out in the past. That's not all of them, and some things they're helping with us now. So before the district purchased Chromebooks, each school was responsible for purchasing its own technology. And with the help and blessings of our foundation, they helped us purchase over 400 Chromebooks for our school, staff laptops, laptop chargers. The very first thing they helped us do is our gym is our auditorium. So we don't have an auditorium at West Valley, it's our gym. And in there, we added a really nice projector and a huge screen that drops down and a sound system to go with it. We couldn't have done that without the foundation. They've sponsored professional development for our teachers, Special Olympic field trips, positive behavior incentives. The list goes on and on. I wanted to share specifically, just within the past 3 weeks, in addition to our PTSA, our foundation has stepped up to the plate in picnic tables for lunch, stanchions for our hallways. I'm going to show you some slides of those in just a minute, some pictures. Traffic flow hallway stickers, some seating stickers for our lunch areas and other places, online programs for the staff to support online learning, document cameras, mobile presentation cards, digital tablets, folding tables. The list goes on, and it continues to grow each day as we prepare for the 24th. If you need information about the foundation, you can reach out to me or any of our admin team or go check them out online at their website. Okay, so now we're going to kind of go through a few of the policies that may be pertinent to this year. Again, some of these will be if you're a returning parent, will be the same. If you're a new parent, we felt they were worth mentioning again. All right, dress code. Dress code's big. There's a lot there. It's board policy J260. There's a link to it that you'll be able to go to when you're going through this presentation again online, or you can go to Knox County School's website and look at board policies. We ask that students follow those and we encourage parents to go over those with their students each year. Cell phones. Cell phones kind of changed. Policy keeps evolving. We're going to follow the policy J240 that you will see in that you can download and look at also. But the essentials of that is in middle school, students can have cell phones, but they have to be off and out of sight between 8:30 and 3:30 p.m. Phones need to be placed in backpacks and they have to be turned off. The first time if a student is violating that policy, they would bring their phone to the office to turn into the security office themselves, and they can pick it up after school. Second time, a parent has to pick it up. Third time, parent has to pick it up, and they can't have a phone at school. We found this policy to work great last year. And if they need to use a cell phone and it's emergency, if they need to make a phone call, their teachers all have phones in their rooms, or they can come to the office and make a phone call in the office with adults. That's cell phones. Some new things, policies and procedures to kind of go through here. And so that's all the new stuff for this year. So for a few minutes, I'm going to talk through the slides that pertain particularly to some new things. Now, folks, I will tell you, we haven't done this before. We have a really great plan in place for the 24th. We will get a chance to do a run through this Thursday with our in-person sixth graders that are visiting this Thursday from 8 till 12 for half a day. But here are some things I want to make sure we talk about. Our doors will open at 7:30 a.m. each day. Students are dropped off, can be dropped off before that, but there are no adults watching them at that time. We encourage our students to arrive 7:30 or later. 7:30 a.m. or later. All students, as you probably are aware, are subject to temperature checks before they enter the building. We will have teachers both in front of the school and behind the building where buses are dropped off, where bus students are dropped off to check temperatures. We will have extra supplies, masks for students to wear if they don't have one, or if there's breaks, or if they just need one. We will have a holding area for students with a temperature above 100.4. Students will be required to call parents and be picked up if they have a temperature of 100.4. Temperature station. So here's a picture of the front door of the school. We plan on having 3 temperature station lines at the front of this building. Where, and I should say at this point, I apologize I haven't said it, all of our drop-off with cars or walkers enter the front door. Parents, we do not drop off students at the back of the school any day of the week. We do all the drop-off at the front. And I encourage you to figure out maybe how long that's going to take you for that to happen, because our traffic is a little hectic at the beginning of the year especially. So we're also going to have, at the front of the school, students should have masks. They should wait 6 feet apart. Now, what Mr. Patillo and I were out looking around there a couple weeks ago, and it pretty much is about the cracks in the concrete are really good markers for kind of distancing. What we've also noticed as we've been out in the community is that kids and families are really starting to learn to keep that distance as they're waiting in line. So that's kind of where they're waiting. Something that's not on the presentation. Well, we'll jump to the back of the school, Ms. Harmon. Let's see, I think we have a picture of that. It kind of looks the same. It's a little bit different angle, but we will have, again, the cracks in the concrete will be the standing areas for the students. Students should be masked as they're riding the bus and getting off the bus, and they'll wait 6 feet apart. Now, we learned today, and it's not in this presentation, that all schools are getting some some thermometers stations, and we are blessed because of our size to get 2. So we will have, in addition to people taking temperature with thermometers, we will also have a walk-through thermometer at both the front door and the back door for both our car riders and our bus riders. We haven't received those yet. We look forward to getting them soon. Moving on. Bus hall. So what happens when a student comes into school? So we've kind of had to change what we're used to. So 7th and 8th, parents of 7th and 8th graders might want to listen to this one because it's a little different than in years past. So bus hall, the time of bus hall is still the same. We're going to do it from 7:30 until 8 in the morning. In the cafeteria, students that are eating breakfast will eat breakfast in the cafeteria. What's a little different about that is we have a designated area where you're going to eat, students, if you're watching, and parents, if you know your students will eat breakfast. They're going to eat in that area. When they finish, here's the new part. They're used to just staying in the cafeteria, sitting where they ate. That's no longer the case. So as students finish eating, they will be asked to move to their bus hall holding area. For 6th grade, they will sit in the cafeteria in different seats. So they'll get up from the seating area where they're eating and go sit at another designated seat that's marked in the cafeteria. Our 7th and 8th graders that are eating breakfast when they're finished, they will be asked to go to their holding area, which will be in the gym. And in the gym, we're going to use, you'll see some pictures in a minute. Students will stay there until they are dismissed at 8 o'clock by the adults in the rooms. And they're going to sit in the gym. We have wolves painted on the gym seats, and you sit on a wolf, basically. So here's a picture of 6th grade bus hall. This is just taken this week. We have stickers where students will sit. That's the best we can do with our social distancing, spacing in the cafeteria. So no student will be, they can only sit. We're not going to move chairs to other tables. You have to sit at a wolf sticker. I think there's another picture of that. These are what the stickers look like in the cafeteria, friends. And that's where our students need to get used to looking for when they're sitting in bus hall, in the cafeteria, and also when they're eating lunch. That's where they're sitting for lunch too. I think the next slide has some 7th grade and 8th grade. It does. So on the larger side of the gym, on the larger set of stands on the gym, that's where our 8th graders will be and our 7th graders will be on the smaller side. And on those seats, in the next slide, you're going to see, where do you sit? You sit on a wolf, literally. We probably need to hashtag that, start promoting that a little more. But hashtag sit on a wolf or sit at a wolf, essentially. That's how we're keeping the kids separated. Now, face coverings. Masks will be required in the buildings at all times, obviously, unless there's a medical note that we've gone through the process. They should be secured over the nose, the mouth, and under the chin. Some other things to talk about. We don't want kids to put face coverings around their neck or up on their forehead. I know those gainers, of course, are okay. They're face covering, but we don't want kids, that just tends to be a distraction sometimes, or people grabbing them. We don't want kids to touch the face covering, and if they do, wash their hands and use hand sanitizer to disinfect. Masks should be appropriate within dress code, just like a shirt that has writing on it. A mask can have writing on it, as long as it's appropriate for school and not a distraction to the learning environment. So students should never touch another student's mask, and social distancing should be maintained as much as possible. This is a picture of our wonderful leadership team demonstrating some distancing and some mask wearing as well. And I will say at this point, these wonderful folks, and some that aren't in this picture, have really worked hard to get us ready for this year. And we're very, very proud of them and blessed to work with them. Next slide, Ms. Harmon. I think we all have masks and are also looking for others. Our dance team happens to be doing a fundraiser for West Valley face masks. Your kids are going to see some of our teachers, many of our teachers, wearing those. Again, you can get back to this slide, this particular slide, as you watch this at your convenience. I've also sent this out in School Messenger as well. When I send the one with cheer tryouts and dance masks, you may have seen that last week. And so I know the dance team sponsor, Ms. Avey, and the dance team coach, Ms. Barnes, would love to hook you up with some of those. So that's just one. Lunch. I want to brag on our lunch crew. Our cafeteria staff have been decorating the area to welcome kids back, and they're ready to welcome them. Now, lunch is different, folks. We have 3 distinct lunch areas. We have to spread the kids out. And the way we've done that is we've literally rolled some tables from the cafeteria into the main hallway that we're going to spread out every day and take them up after lunch every day. We'll mark those seats where kids can sit. We're also going to be utilizing the cafeteria. You've seen pictures of kind of how that looks already for breakfast. And we're also going to use our pavilion a lot more. As I alluded to earlier, our foundation and our PTSA partnered with us to get a lot of picnic tables, and we're going to use those, and there'll be marked seats on those as well, so that we can spread out our numbers during lunch, because that's the time when kids don't wear masks because they need to eat. So we're also going to, some other things we're doing for lunch to help with the situation that we're all facing is we'll have staggered times that students will come to and leave the cafeteria. They will not be required to wear masks when eating and drinking. And when they eat in the pavilion, they will eat in the pavilion cafeteria in the main hallway, sometimes outside if we can work it out. I've already alluded to the fact that seats will be marked where they are to sit, and lunches purchased in the cafeteria will be individually packaged. I will say something about lunch now. If you need, we'll be sending out free and reduced lunch application forms. There's also links to those also online. Now would be a really great time to go ahead and start filling those out so that we can be ready to go. I will also add, I did not add a picture to this, that we've also, our students will be, our cafeteria staff is giving our students kind of a little ID card that they can use to scan in to their account, so they don't have to touch. Typically, our kids touch a keypad, so we're trying to eliminate that touch in the food service area. That's something, those cards we can produce here and also reproduce them should they be lost or damaged. But you'll get more info on that too. Some more pictures. So kind of on the left, you see a picture of the booths. This is where the breakfast area is, and you can see that the stickers indicate where we sit. I think there may be another picture, 2 or 3. Yeah, okay, on the left is the main hallway. When you come in the front door, the door in the back is where the bus riders enter. So we're going to be probably 8 to 10 tables out there that'll be marked. On the right, you see stacks of picnic tables that were completed today with the help of Officer Rick, our SRO. Many of our staff worked the last 2 days to get all those put together, and we're excited to get them organized and put out tomorrow. The blue picnic tables you see there, we're going to put those out in the grassy areas because I think those weigh about 5,000 pounds each, and we're kind of going to use them as much as we can too. Next slide. Oh, here you go. Some of our wonderful folks putting those tables together. Next slide. Break time. Okay. So there's an additional time, there is additional time built into our schedule, third period in particular, to give students and teachers a break. Each grade level will have a designated time to take their break. Teachers will be encouraged to take their kids outside, to walk around the building, to walk around the track, to spread out in the field, spread out on the basketball court. Students and teachers will be permitted to remove their masks during this time when social distancing can be maintained. And I think it is at this point, I should say something I probably should have said at the very beginning. Guys, we want to take care. The most important thing we can do this year is love your kids and take care of them. It's kind of weird to have a principal be on a live event and say, I'm not concerned about testing scores and grade. I mean, we do care about those things, but the most important thing we can do this year is to take care of each other. And we want to do that. And I want to really emphasize that is what we want to do. That is what we've told our staff is the main purpose, is to take care of our kids. We'll be doing a lot of that in advisory that we'll have from 8:30 to 8:45 every day to check in, social, emotional check-ins, and really focus on helping our kids get back into the routine of school and with any concerns and anxieties that they might have. That is our purpose this year. I feel that in my heart, and I just needed to tell you that. I know we're all on the same page of that administratively. Next slide. Now, hallway transitions. Mr. Patillo has worked really hard on, you're about to see some pictures of what school's going to look like in the hallways. So we with the help of the foundation, we bought some stanchions, fancy poles. If you don't know what stanchions are, those are fancy poles with separation barriers for the hallway. Students should remain on the right side of the hallway and continue moving at all times to prevent holding up traffic. We're very used to walking on the right side of the hallway at West Valley, but this year we have something to separate them in the hallway and stickers on the floor to remind them. And it's really important that we do that. We'll have the hallways will have some directional flow that our kids will get used to. It'll be new for us, where it's kind of one-way traffic. We're really trying to prevent, Mr. Patillo has worked really hard to think about where kids have clogged up, and Ms. Harmon and I have kind of worked with him as well to think about where our kids going to be clogged up the most and where can we spread them out, and can we accomplish the spreading out a little more of the distancing by changing the traffic flow. It'll take some getting used to, but I really feel it's the best way to handle this situation in this moment right now. Again, there'll be arrows on the floor. You can see there are the arrows. There are the stanchions on the left. That's looking down 8th grade hallway. So and on the right, that's inside 6th grade. So the grade levels will be one-way traffic. Every time you come out of the door, you're going to turn right, essentially, for the most part. And we'll get used to that. It won't take long. So I think there may be some other pictures. Yes. Okay. So on the left is the directional arrow, and if you have business in the office that can't be taken care of outside or on a phone call or online, if you do happen to be inside, you'll see these social distancing stickers that are on the carpet. We would, of course, ask everyone to kind of adhere to those things when they're in the office. Parents, you will be, if you are in the office, you'll be temperature checked. As you know, when you enter the building, you have to be temperature checked as well, and you have to be masked. Some more pictures for you. That's on the left is looking at the front door, and on the right is looking from 6th grade hallway down 8th grade hallway. That's kind of what our students are going to see. That's what our 6th graders will see when they come. Our in-person 6th graders that are visiting Thursday will see these things first. Next slide. Restrooms and water fountains. Okay, so we've made some changes there we want to share with you. So we've covered up all the push button and putting your mouth down to drink a drink of water at all of our water fountains in the school. The only thing open is the filling station. So every grade level, across from the gym in the main hallway, and now we just added one in the cafeteria this summer, are drink filling stations that students, we encourage kids to bring a water bottle to fill up. That is perfectly allowable for them to do that, and we encourage kids to drink a lot more water than they're used to. Restrooms will be open between classes. Teachers will be responsible for monitoring the number of kids in the restroom. Students will be permitted to use the restroom during class, of course, following their teacher's class procedures and policies for that. Lockers and backpacks. I know the word is out, but I just wanted to share again. We have to minimize, we try to think about ways to minimize where kids gather on a day-to-day basis, on a class change to class change basis, and that's the lockers. So we will not assign lockers this year to minimize congestion in the hallways. Now, should something change as we get into next semester, we will revisit that. Students will be allowed to have backpacks in the classroom. Backpacks should be able to fit under a desk or in a designated location in the teacher's classroom. Students should take all necessary school supplies home with them each day. We've handed out a lot of what's called consumable books for different grade levels, different subjects, and a lot of those can just be kept at home. We encourage those to stay at home, as teachers can use those digital versions of those in the classroom. All right. Dismissal for walkers and car riders. Now, so this point in the presentation, we are to, we're going to have some pictures and kind of talk through there's some new stuff here. So parents, when you're used to picking up, we kind of want to give you some new areas, some new information, and kids, if you're listening, or if you're the parent of a 7th or 8th grader, some things have changed that you need to be aware of. So at 3:30, we're going to dismiss our walkers, and our car riders will be dismissed and should leave the building as quickly as possible. That's really kind of the same, but walkers need to immediately leave campus and should not take masks off until on the sidewalk next to the front drive. And they should be walking, they should be leaving, they shouldn't be standing on the sidewalk without a mask talking to people. Car riders will wait in designated areas by grade level. We're going to show you some pictures of that in just a second of kind of where that is. We'll tell you about them too. Car riders need to keep your masks on outside until social distancing can be ensured. All right, now to the zones. All right, so if you have a 6th grader, I'm going to show you a picture of this in just a minute. 6th grade students that are walking home or riding a car will not, they're used to walking down to the main hallway and all the kids leaving the same area. We've changed that to avoid congestion. 6th graders will exit through the glass doors just outside the 6th grade wing and wait in the grassy area in front of the art rooms. If you're a new parent, I know you're thinking, I don't even know where that is. It's okay. We're going to have it marked. It'll be in the front of the school. As you're coming down the hill, 6th grade parents, or those that typically don't pick up, it'll be as you get to the front of the school, the 6th grade is the first wing you come to. So our 6th graders are going to come out there, they're getting picked up, and they're going to stay in that area. 7th grade students will exit through the glass doors at the bottom of the stairs and wait in the grassy area in front of the library. As you looked at our campus, we do have a downstairs, and that's where 7th grade is, and they have the ability to exit to the front of the school from 7th grade. No longer will they be going upstairs and exiting the front door. They will only exit the front of that stairs, the area in front of the stairs, and come up and wait in front of the library, which is just past the front entrance of the school. Our 8th grade students, as the seniors on campus, they get to exit the main door and wait outside the main door area. Related arts students, we do have related arts students in all grade levels. So if you're a 6th or 7th grader in related arts for the last period of the day and you're leaving, you can exit the front entrance and then move to your zone where you're supposed to wait. So if you're a 6th grader and you're getting picked up, when you exit the front door, you're allowed to, you can go over, make a left and go over in front of where you see now. So this is the 6th grade walker and rider exit. The arrow on the left is kind of showing those doors where the kids will exit. and the same thing on the right. And then they'll wait in that grassy area in front of the art rooms behind the trees there you see. Our 7th grade that I just talked about, there's a couple glass doors on the left side there below the steps. That's where our students will exit that are in 7th grade that are getting picked up or walking home. And then they will move up on the sidewalk, they'll not walk in the road, and come wait in front of the library. Our 8th graders will be in the very front of the school. Yeah, our 7th graders will be kind of where Ms. Harmon was pointing with West Valley Middle School, kind of in that area there. Our 8th graders will have the front of the building kind of to the left in front of my office, and then you can't see it, but our 6th graders will be to the right of the tree that you can see there. So that's kind of a visual. Next up, well, maybe the buses. Okay, that's another picture. Here's the waiting zone, roughly. On the 6th grade, you see on the right, that's right in front of the art rooms. And so just to the right of that oval is where the kids will exit that are walking or getting picked up. The middle area is the front of the school, and to the left is 7th grade. And that area is closest to where the 7th graders are leaving the building. All right, next slide. Dismissal for buses. All of our buses will be waiting in the back of the school as usual. And so at 3:30, if you're a student riding a bus home, you will exit some new areas that we want to share with you. Second load bus riders, and we'll learn about that as we go into school, get in school a little bit more and get to a flow. They'll stay in the classroom for a moment. So we want all of our kids leaving at 3:30 to leave the building to prevent large crowds as best we can. So at 3:35, second load bus riders, now they're going to be watched by an adult while they're waiting to be dismissed, of course, will be dismissed and should exit to the pavilion as quickly as possible. On pretty weather days, our bus hall will be at the pavilion beside the cafeteria outside. Typically, this is year 9 for me, I said, the other 8 years I've been here, our bus hall's been in the cafeteria. We're trying to eliminate a large gathering in a closed space when we can. And so bus hall for second load buses will be at the pavilion outside, monitored by an adult. We will be seating students by bus assignment and that'll take a little time to get used to. So the dismissal zone. So if your child is leaving at 3:30, and you can look at the bus stop locator right now, put in your address. It's on the Knox County's website. And kind of get an idea of when your bus might be, if it's a first load or second load bus. So our 6th grade students are going to exit to get on a bus from the 6th grade in the back of the school, monitored by an adult, and they'll go directly to their buses. 7th grade students, you may remember a picture of those doors, of those glass doors that are in the front that were the walkers and riders were coming out. Well, there's the exact same doors in the back, glass doors that'll go up to the buses. And that's where our 7th grade bus riders are going to, first load bus riders, we're going to exit. Our 8th grade students have the rights and privileges of the main hallway. And so since the walkers and riders in 8th grade are exiting the building at the end of the day at the front entrance, our bus riders will come down the 8th grade hallway, make a left, and go out the main hallway to the back of the school. I'm going to show you some pictures of that now. I believe this is the 6th grade bus exit that you can kind of see. I forgot to put an arrow on the right one, but the arrow on the left is where they will be exiting. And in the distance, you will see those trees in the distance. That's where the buses are. On the right picture, Ms. Harmon's going to kind of hover around there on where the door is. And they'll just walk up and come get on the buses as quickly as we can. Adults will be out there to monitor. And the next slide, well, I think is the 7th grade. Yes. So the back of the school doesn't have all the glass on that side, but it does have those 2 glass doors. And that is where the 7th graders that are riding the 3:30, the first load bus, that's where they're going to exit. Now, many of them, we have been using that door for exit, for bus exit for 7th grade for many years. And so that should be kind of a new thing, not be a new thing. The next slide will give you, basically, that's the back of the school. The 8th graders and related arts students who are riding first load buses, that's where they're going to exit to get on the buses. We will have adults back there to hold the buses as we learn our new patterns of travel. I have a feeling it's going to go pretty quickly because we're not all coming to the main hallway and we're not all exiting the same doors all at once. Okay, our next slide is kind of going on our first week plans. We're getting close to being finished with all the slides. Let's go over some of those things. So our first week plans. On Monday, the 24th, that half day, students will be explicitly taught all procedures reviewed tonight. Now, we don't expect them to memorize them tonight, but we're going to go over a great majority of things, and then some of a little more detail, the things that we've kind of gone over tonight to introduce to you. The rest of the week, over that the 25th, 26th, and 27th, we're going to do an in-house orientation for virtual tools. This orientation will benefit them for in-person instruction should we ever, as a school, go in red or as a district go on to red level. Students will participate in advisory at the beginning of every day to support social and emotional health. Again, that's the most important thing we're going to be doing this year, is checking on our kids and taking care of them. Some of the next slide, some student schedule updates. We sent out an email earlier today about that a little bit, but I wanted to specifically go over some things Ms. Harmon's been working on, our schedule guru. Student schedules will be available to review on Aspen sometime tomorrow, we're hearing. So I don't know if it's midnight tonight or 4 o'clock tomorrow. We anticipate the district sometime either tomorrow or soon after that to be letting you have access in Aspen to what we have done so far. And as I put in my email to you guys today, we still have work to do. What you see tomorrow potentially might look a little different, maybe not completely, but we've got to level some things we have to do. Approximately 95% of our students got their first request for core classes and year-long related arts. There may be a few missing classes. So we have 6 periods a day. It's quite possible when you see the first version of the schedule, your child might have. We want them to have 6, and they quite likely will, but there may be a few that have 4 or 5, and we're working on it. I just wanted to let you know we're doing that. Especially our virtual students. So we have around 400 students doing virtual learning, and in that, before I was on this meeting today, I was talking to a supervisor about some virtual things, and so that's an ever-evolving process of how to build those schedules completely. So parents, virtual student parents, tomorrow, if you should see a schedule, it's a good chance it might not have all 6 of the periods listed.